everything we thought was the case was wrong. So I always tread a little lightly. And I mean, I try not to make these so definitive takes. Things can change very, very quickly, or maybe they have and we just haven't seen it yet.
The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast, located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to The Oil Stream. Dusty and Tommy Gazzola with you here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you are listening live, hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you are on the YouTube chat, let's get this thing going. Hammer that like, hammer that thumbs up. That would go a long way for us as we continue another day of coverage here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And look who it is, Mr. Tom Gazzola. Tommy, what's up, buddy?
Hi. I just what a day. Day one of training camp, medicals and physicals, and I was down at the rink. It was great. I want to begin today's episode of the Oil Stream by apologizing to you, Matthew, Eric, and newly hired YouTube. Are we calling him YouTube Trev?
YouTube Trev.
To YouTube Trev for not telling, and I have to apologize to Sean Bell for not informing you guys that Bellsy wouldn't be here till 9:30. I text Bellsy. He has not responded. I feel like he will not respond because he's upset with me. But yes, we were on the phone yesterday. He's like, tell the boys I'm not going to be there till 9:30. which is great because it opens up opportunities for you to slide in.
Yeah, it lets you a nice
Eric.
little hangout, actually. Yeah,
Like a literal just hangout. And I walk in and the boys are like, we have been laughing at you all day. I was like, what did I do? Well, I didn't do something, and that was inform you guys of something pretty important. So I apologize.
You know, in the end, it allowed us to like surprisingly introduce YouTube Trev.
Great.
People seem to love him. My wife's like, he's such a cute little guy.
He's great. YouTube Trev's awesome. Welcome to the team, YouTube Trev, our first hire.
Welcome to the jungle, kid. Welcome to the jungle.
Yes.
And he's our official first hire with Edmonton Sports Talk. Myself, Tommy, Maddie, and Eric kind of starting it. And then, YouTube Trev talked about, somebody just was in the YouTube chat, says, hey, can you guys just wait? I'm just finishing up the hangout. So,
sorry.
Yeah, we'll get going here on the Oil Stream right
Apologies.
away. But yeah, actually, it was the Oil Stream, how we met Trev. He talked about it on the hangout a little bit today, but Tommy and I were doing an Oil Stream at Boston Pizza, obviously one of the presenting partners of the Oil Stream. And he came up to us and was like, hey, man, I love your guys' work. And they were pretty excited about possibly the opportunity of working with us.
Yes.
And
who knew
yeah,
that, what was it, like 7 or 8 months later?
7-8 months later, we would all be fired and we could hire him.
We don't have a station at TSN anymore, so let's create our own. And here we are.
Yeah.
And YouTube Trev is now part of the team, and that's great. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table. The things that we are incompetent at,
yeah, he's good. He fills that void.
He's very good at, yes. Yeah. So we're happy to have him aboard.
Well, at least we hope he is. We hope he's good.
Yeah, we hope so.
For all we know, he's a bum. But we think it's going to work out pretty good. Yeah.
No, he's
Huffy the Clown says, personally, I love the hour plus bitching about Tommy and random subjects.
that bad, huh?
It was pretty bad.
I was at the rink doing my job, and I'm being ripped for not being in studio. I'm here. I made it on time.
He's here. We're good.
We're good. We're doing our show. We've got lots to get into today.
Okay, good.
A lot to get into.
Is this a training camp guide?
I brought it.
Check
yes.
it out. Training camp guide. When Tommy's done with it, we will auction it off for charity.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty nice, actually, eh?
They do a good job. Oilers PR, Jamie Carmel and Sean May.
Carmel's great.
Timmy shipped in, and I'll throw Kate Doyle in there as well, who was on my team yesterday at the Oilers media tournament.
Congratulations. Congratulations on the win, buddy. That was big.
Thank you. Good team effort. Dustin Schwartz, long bomb, great golfer. And then Kate Doyle, also a great golfer. And then myself and Kevin Rapinos, we made some shots when needed, and we pulled out the win.
It was basically just Schwartzy, like...
No, listen, Schwartzy was fantastic.
We can't... Look, I don't want to take anything away from my win last year or your win this year or whoever won with him the year before. But Dustin Schwartz has won this event 3 times in a row, and he hits the ball an absolute ton. Mind you, the one shot I saw, we kind of crossed over there. We were in the Glendale. Thank you very much to the people at Glendale.
Yes, fantastic. Norman, a Combine son, thank you.
Yeah, he was great. He delivered our bags to the
Norm,
car. It was
your
great.
son is an absolute beauty.
Yeah, really nice kid.
Yes.
But I saw the one shot that I saw Schwartz, he like dropped his club after.
Yeah.
He was very frustrated.
Yeah, he had a few of those. That's why I'm saying we picked them up. We were a good team, lots of cohesion, and yes, he happens to win almost every year. And when you have a good surrounding crew around a star like that, good things happen.
Things really do happen well there.
Yeah.
So that was good. So congratulations to Tommy and Schwartzy and the rest of that crew that ended up getting it done there yesterday. And thanks to the Oilers for having us out. Jamie Carmel had a couple of burns during that thing. I was laughing. The one I can't even repeat it here. And it's not because it's dirty. It's because it's absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
But I was laughing so hard. Like Ken Holland turned around and looked at me because I thought it was the funniest thing.
Was that the one where I'm like, we're not laughing?
Yeah.
We're not laughing.
Yeah, it was just, it was really funny though. So but it was a nice event. And the Oilers PR staff, they've actually, they won the award the last 3 years or whatever?
2 years in a row. It's gotten much better. Let's just say that.
I think that's safe to say. Yeah, they've done some changes that have led to some significant improvements over there as well. All right, Tommy, you were down at the rink today. Jay Woodcroft yesterday talked about they're going to have that team meeting at 8 o'clock, and then the availabilities would begin. First of all, I know I saw some stuff on Ekholm. I've been busy working,
obviously.
But what's coming out of today? What did we learn today?
Hip flexor for Ekholm at the beginning of camp, but Ekholm said it's more maintenance than anything, and then Ken Holland said they're going to be obviously keeping tabs on that, so that might hold him back a little bit for the first week or two of training camp, but as long as he's good to go, or maybe he sneaks into a couple of preseason games, They do have 8 of them, and as long as he can be ready to go by October 11th, I think that's the main focus. This is a guy that's been in town. Obviously, that lends him to being at the Oilers facilities, and the training staff is watching over him. And he's creeping into his mid-30s here, so the body is something that needs to be maintained, and hip flexor out of the gate. Are we concerned? Not yet. But we'll see how that progresses.
Yeah, I mean, in the chat, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, or in the YouTube chat. Let's get to a couple of these. Dr. Gonzo. Ooh, I wonder if he's a real doctor. All right?
I
maybe.
don't know.
I mean, maybe. Because he says, X hip flexor issue, not a fun way to start out. Broberg, time to show some improvements. And
Yep,
Kevin
that's fine.
says, will this Ekholm injury end up being a long-term injury? I mean, I've never dealt. What do we know about hip flexors? What is it? You always just hear, he's got a little bit of a hip flexor. He's going to be fine.
Usually it's like a minimal type hindrance, right?
Yeah.
Like guys play through hip flexors, but I don't know if
I'm going to read up
they're not
on
going to dig much into this. I don't think they're going to give us a ton of detail. The fact that they told us out of the gate.
Here
I
we
think
go.
That's good. Tell me about
Here's
the
what
hip
we got.
flexor.
A hip. This is according to Google on the internet. A hip flexor strain is an injury to one of your hip flexors.
Oh,
No
yes.
surprise. The muscles where your thigh meets your hip. They're a type of a muscle strain, a tear in your muscle tissue. They're one of the most common injuries, especially among athletes. Strains are classified with 3 grades to indicate how severe they are. So that's what we know about hip flexors. Oh, yeah, sorry, buddy. My water was on.
Someone in the nasty
water was
chat
on the
pointed it
table.
out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how. Look, Ekholm doesn't need a training camp. Ekholm doesn't need a preseason. Would it be nice? Sure, it'd be nice, but I don't think it's necessary for him to, be fine. You just hope it's not one of these things that all of a sudden
Lingers,
in November
gets
they're like,
worse.
Ekholm's got to miss 2 games this weekend because of the hip flexor.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be better he was coming in
yeah.
with no issues.
That'd be phenomenal.
But-
But I mean, if he gets over it and they baby it to full health, then I think that's no problem. Ultimately, I'd like to see him in training camp and not miss.
Yeah,
Unlike-
you like to see everybody, right?
Another thing we learned, we had that nice hot stove yesterday,
Yeah.
and there was a discussion, don't expect to see Sam Gagner in training camp and preseason as he continues to rehabilitate.
Yeah, we talked
The
about that a
hips.
little bit on the show today as well. It basically, I don't know. Like Sam doesn't make the team. We know that,
We know that,
obviously.
yes.
If you're not going to be able to play in games, he's going to practice.
Yeah.
He's going to skate with the team, but he's not going to be able to play any
Yeah.
games. They also, Holland said last night when they were doing the little hot stove there, shout out to our boy Stoff for hosting the hot stove
Yep.
there. But he basically said, he's okay to go down to Bakersfield, try to
Yes.
get up to speed. Somebody I saw on Twitter last night, I think it was Maddie who tweeted it out.
Where did he get that info?
That? Well, it was
I'm
straight
kidding.
from Holland. At
It was
that
right
time,
from yeah.
Yeah, but it was. I was actually watching The Room when Holland said that because I was like, "Oh, that's new info on Gagner."
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
trying to see who moved for their phones
Yes.
immediately. I saw Shoggy. Went for the phone, but I don't know if he tweeted it. I might just have been making a note.
I think he
Shoggy's
made
a
a
big
note.
note guy. I
Yes.
think, so he's probably making a note. But I did see somebody reply and say, could there be a situation here with Gagner where, plays in Baco trying to get back up to speed. Maybe it's not working. Maybe it's not going great. He plays 1 game as an Edmonton Oiler to kind of retire as an Edmonton Oiler,
Interesting.
and then that's it.
Maybe.
I think that would be the worst case scenario, but
Yeah,
that
but
could be a scenario.
And that was the question I asked Ken last night at the hot stove, and he gave a great answer, and he kind of went through each guy individually on the PTO side. With Gagner, the way he said that Sam is willing to go down to Bakersfield, that I think is an indicator that it would be likely more than 1 game.
Yeah.
But if they give him one last swan song because the body isn't responding the way it used to and the hips aren't there and the step isn't there, that would be a pretty cool way to go out for Sam Gagner, whose legacy with the Oilers I think is a pretty good one in a really bad time in franchise history. And then his next chapter within the organization, I think, will begin.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the front office on the hockey side.
I'm interested to see how quickly
Hopefully
they
he
work him.
plays.
They quickly. Yeah, you'd like
know?
to see him play still.
Yeah.
So who's this good news for? If Sam Gagner isn't going to be able to play preseason games, good news for Raphael Lavoie, more opportunity. Like, I don't know if Sam was really ever impacting
news,
that guy anyway.
Good
but
news for, guys that, we found out today that Dylan Holloway is on the team. I know there's some people saying maybe he needs to go down to Bakersfield and play a little bit down there. That was kind of cleared. Holloway's going to be on the team.
Holloway's making the team.
Yeah. And
of course he is. Like, the bottom
good.
6 isn't overly deep or strong, right?
No, it isn't. Exactly. Maybe this is good. I bet guys like Kajula, Peterson, Lavoie, like you mentioned, are looking at this going, okay, well, a guy that's got the heart of the city and the fan base and the players in the room won't be ready to play, so that could open up an opportunity or something along those lines for these other guys that are on the cusp and might get called up at certain times. Another thing Holland said, too, is in this meeting that he had with the group earlier today, it takes 15 or 16 forwards and up to 9 or 10 defensemen to really push this team to victory and a potential long run in the playoffs. So if you're a guy that's on the cusp and you have a contract with the team and there's a chance you could be in Bakersfield, but there's also that opportunity that you could play games with the Oilers and make an impact there. And I think that's a good reminder for these players too, that it puts the idea in their heads that they're not just minor league guys, and even though they play games in the NHL, they're not destined for the AHL, that it is going to take more than the 11 or 12 guys that are dressed every night at forward and the 6 or 7 guys that are dressed at defense. It will take the expanded roster. I think that's a good reminder and a good way to set the tone and get some buy-in from everyone to make them feel a part of it and to give them that hope and that dangling carrot in front of them to chase.
One of the things Woodcroft said last night at the golf event was, I think it was Mark Connolly who asked, how do you handle the expectations?
Closest to the pin, Mark Connolly.
Yeah, closest to the pin, Mark Connolly.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big deal.
I don't know if everybody was playing the same format.
No, they weren't.
Ken's group was playing scramble,
but we were supposed to be playing
shamble. We were playing a shamble. Your score makes me feel like you guys scrambled a little bit.
We shambled. No, we were
we
very
shambled
good.
to 100, and we thought we were playing pretty good.
I'm sorry. We just had better golfers.
Yeah, it's just that simple. Although I would say Glenn Gulletson, who's on my team,
Gully's good.
He could crank it.
Yeah.
Right down the middle for an average build dude, right? Like Gully's not.
He's not a big
guy.
guy.
Not by any stretch of imagination, but he was just
Glenn's good.
Hammering the ball right down the middle every single time. So it was, yeah. Anyway, what Woodcroft said there.
Saying, yeah.
Connolly, closest to the pin, asked about, how do you manage these expectations of people knowing that you want to be known as the Stanley Cup favorite, let's go, but how do you manage it so that it doesn't go to your head or you start taking nights off and things along those lines? And he basically said, what do you say, respect the day? Was it respect the day? What was
win the day, take it one day at a time.
And then
things he's said in the past.
Yeah, and then the standard.
Yeah.
He said, it's about staying focused, take the day, or I can't remember the exact, but it was basically win the day and live up to the standard that the organization has set and the standard that you hold for yourselves.
Yeah.
And it could just be coach speak. But at the same time, if this is a team that has to hold themselves to a high standard because they've got Connor McDavid on it and he holds himself to a high standard, then a lot of that really does make sense.
Yeah.
Really.
And it is coach speak and it is simple, but you think about it and you're like, just crush it every day, one day at a time. Don't look too far down the road. And if you're able to maintain that mindset collectively, I think given the amount of talent and ability and experience on this team, should lead to where this team is expected to go.
Yeah.
Should is the key word.
Anything else really noteworthy out of today?
I tweeted about it or posted about it. I don't know.
Whatever you have to do,
formerly known as tweets, now known as posts, whatever the heck it's called. That Ken Holland, when he was asked by DNB from The Athletic, Daniel Nugent-Bowman, about Steve Stais, he said that Steve Stais is still an Oiler, but you and I have been talking about it. I'm like, oh, interesting, Ken, because I'm going through this list of hockey operations
not there anywhere,
and there is no Steve Stais. So, like we've been talking about and discussed,
they're just kind of keeping it under wraps. So the ownership change in Ottawa. And then...
and there is the other thing. As I was driving down here from the arena, I was thinking too, like maybe he's still under contract, and that's why he's still an Oiler or whatever. But he's not going to be around.
I guess that would make sense if it was still like a contractual thing.
Yeah. Somebody asked about Duncan Keith. He's not on this list either. His contract is now complete.
Okay.
Maybe that's why he was an advisor last year. So I haven't seen him around. He was around a little bit last year. So too was Mike Smith. We saw Paul Byron today announced as like a player development consultant with the Habs or something along those lines. When these guys still have years and term left on their deals and they can't play, they do hang around the organization, and they'll get, like Laddie Schmid with the Flames when his neck was messed up.
Yeah.
It's like, is he retired? Well, no, he's still under contract. So they had him doing player development stuff. Then he went and finished his career in the Czech Republic for a few years. So that was one thing that stood out to me. I was like, why are you saying he's still in? Well, I probably still under contract, but no role. Yeah. And that's quite evident in this. So it is in line with what you and I have discussed.
All right, let's get to a couple of things in the YouTube chat. You can text us as well. We are watching the text line 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Surveyor Brett says he would appreciate an apology to the listeners as well. You came in today. You apologized to us and the crew and the Belsey mix-up for the hangout, which ended up going on really well anyway. But
Excellent.
Tommy, where do you come out on an apology to the listeners, the faithful, ESTers, the AM nasties on dropping the ball a little bit today on the hangout?
Surveyor Brett, who apparently saw me as he was working, and I was between going from one element of my job to another, from the depths of my heart, I apologize. I will not do it again. And if it does happen, it's not on purpose. So I am so sorry. But thank you. I need to atone for this. I need to win the day moving forward and be better and achieve that standard that has been set.
You know what? That's really important.
Thank you.
You need to respect the standard here at Edmonton Sports Talk, Tommy. And now you're really learning how to accept that.
Yes.
Which is good. I think that's really, really important here on the Oil Stream. So, listen, don't go anywhere. We've got a couple more segments on the Oil Stream coming up. What do you have for questions? What do you got for us? Opening day of training camp. Let's go. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And in that YouTube chat right now, let us know. We're going to be gone for like 2.5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. And let us know what questions you have for us, and we'll get to some of those questions when we come back right here on the Oil Stream on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The EST Hangout.
Matawanek, Tom Gazzola.
Yeah.
As well as we got Min Darwell from CBC and Doug McLean, Golden Bears Pandas analyst, along with the Stingers.
I think the older this kid gets,
Connor?
you're starting to see glimpses of what we're not privy to inside that room.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, now we're starting to see these guys put a stamp on this team. I think that culture that they're creating, instead of having it top down where it has a trickle down effect, I think it's working both ways where it kind of dictates what happens with the executive and the hockey side of the front office.
EST Hangout, weekday mornings at 9, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey, Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for The Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla, as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the TaylorMade Performance Center at the Ranch, Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right, welcome back to the Oil Stream, everybody. Brought to you in part by our great partners at Boston Pizza. Watch our socials. We'll be announcing our next in-house Oil Stream at Boston Pizza here over the next few days, actually. So make sure you're watching for that. You can come join us for an Oil Stream live at Boston Pizza, where we continue to raid their staff. We got YouTube Trev is no longer Boston Pizza Trev. He's now YouTube Trev here with us. Surveyor Brett says, apology accepted, Tommy. Hashtag meet the standard. So that's
yes,
that's good. If you have any questions and you're listening right now online, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999.
You see the one from Richard? Sorry for interrupting.
No, I didn't. No, go ahead. But there's no interrupting when you're just a two-man show and you're talking back and forth.
Okay. Richard with this one. Tommy makes me laugh, but this week when he called Rashog a dork was funny. I still giggle about it. Then yesterday he says sarcastically that he drives a pickup full of decals.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, he does.
Richard, I'm full of these.
This is what happened. You got big sponsors in the all over there.
Decaled up.
Yeah, it's really nice. Do you smell something?
It smells delicious.
Hey, guys.
We cooking?
Maddie, hurry, there's an emergency. Did you guys get some food? It smells. Did you smell
great.
something? Yeah. You can smell that. It doesn't smell like that out there?
No. Once you get in this door, though.
Does it smell good or does it smell like fire?
Good. No, I think it's not a bad.
Go check the kitchen. I wonder if somebody just made something in the kitchen. Anyway.
Our new studios are like an adventure every day.
Yeah.
We found out about Black Sedan Guy.
Yeah, Black Sedan Guy. We got to the bottom
thing.
of that. That's a good thing. They're managing the catalytic converter trucks across the street or whatever that is.
Why do people steal those? 'Cause
Somebody
they
must have
make
just
money.
heated something up in the microwave.
Could be lunchtime in the spa.
That's
the
lunchtime in the spa,
Yeah.
and all the lunchtime aromas are coming up. That makes sense. All right, so the Oilers today, meetings tomorrow on the ice, and
Tomorrow, the on-ice portion
all
gets
right,
going,
begins.
obviously, right? Today's medicals and physicals. They had their meeting. I have the schedule. Like, I know people, I tweeted out that, or X posted, pardon me for that, but Saturday, which is a great day. It is a great day Saturday.
oh, I know what it is. It's the day after the Elks game.
Yes, but it's the day of my birth.
Happy birthday, Tommy!
Thank
Saturday.
you. I look forward to seeing all of you on Friday, and maybe the Elks win again, make it 5 of 6. That would be lovely to witness. Saturday, 10 a.m., the team hits the ice from 10 to 10:50 at the downtown community arena. But what people would really want to see is the scrimmage, which goes at the main rink from 11 to 12. And I heard that there was a locker room sale happening, and someone X'd me and said, well, how can they have a scrimmage when the locker room sale is happening? The building now is so big, I think they would probably put it in like Ford Hall or something along
Yeah, you
those
can put
lines.
that right there. Everybody's going to be coming in for the scrimmage. Of course you do that right there.
So
they could actually set that up right where they usually have that.
Yeah. So Saturday's a fan day. If you are not doing anything, want to take the kids down to check out the Oilers in training camp, they're going to have a scrimmage. That's at 11 at Rogers Place. Someone else followed up. I was reading some replies saying, are there any other days that people can go watch? As of the schedule that they've given us, that takes us until the 29th. The 23rd is the only day it's open to fans.
The 23rd is the only day?
Yeah.
That makes sense. They usually would only open up one day.
They do. But they have been doing more fan days and practices, and I know season seat holders get those opportunities. There's been more of those, which I think is good. I really do. And like you've got the Golden Knights who practice at I can't remember the name of the facility, their practice rink. It's a twin.
Is that in Henderson?
This one's in Summerlin. The Henderson
okay.
Silver Knights are at the one in Henderson, which is a similar facility from what I understand. But like the Golden Knights practices are open, and they jam those stands for just to practice. It's kind of cool. It really is, and I think Washington does it as well. So the Oilers opening things up a little bit, I think, is a good move.
How many people do you think would be there for this?
A couple thousand.
Yeah, I would think at least a couple thousand.
Yeah.
First look.
Yeah, first look. People curious. Bring the kids down.
Yeah.
Someone also mentioned that they had not been to Rogers Place.
That was
ever
yesterday.
before.
That was
yesterday
yesterday during confessions.
Great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, it is. Actually, that's really good. It's not going to cost you, like, it would be, that's good. 97 Octane Hockey says, any idea who will be playing on Sunday?
No clue.
We would not know that
No.
yet. I don't think anybody would know that yet.
And the other detail about Sunday says that there's going to be a session, non-game roster, skates at 10, and it says player availability following the game, no morning skate for game roster, it says.
Okay. Well,
So
there we
so
go.
by
So whoever's not
process of
skating Sunday
elimination.
morning, you'll know who's playing on
Yeah,
Sunday.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's good. Savage Deplorer says, dude, you got to work on the sentencing. You're not making much sense. There's that, I don't know if it's a bot or something, but at Tom Gazzola, I don't know who come to Edmonton Sports Talk Hangout early and show today. Now I know him.
Oh.
I don't know. I got some commas in there. I think we're missing a word or two.
Yeah, there's something.
Maybe it
my
was
name's
YouTube,
in
Trev.
caps.
You missed it. Trev came in and just randomly sat down, and people were in the YouTube chat being like, who's this guy? Did this guy just walk in off the street?
He did.
And we said, mystery street guest would actually be pretty fun. Like, you guys sit down for the hangout. Myself or Eric run down onto the street, find somebody driving by, find anybody, and then like wave them down and be like, hey, you want to pop up here for 5 minutes?
Go get one of the guys that's always hacking a dart outside our
the
building.
Russian spa guys.
Yeah.
that'd be
Who
great.
you met yesterday.
I did meet our neighbors yesterday. Really nice guys. Really
Nice.
nice guys. I've been here for a little while, so I think that's good. Hey, congratulations to the new members of the Edmonton Oilers Hall of Fame.
Yes.
buddy. Yeah, that's cool.
This morning they announced that Charlie Huddy and Doug Waite now join Lee Fogelin and Ryan Smith, as well as all the Hall of Fame guys that had their banners hung up. And this is great. I mean, I don't think that there's anybody going to complain about these two selections. And it's nice to see the 90s, early 2000s. I know Doug Waite only played here till 01, and then 01 went over to St. Louis, or was traded to St. Louis. But to see like Ryan Smith in there, that was a good step last year to recognize that era. Doug Waite, another step in that direction of recognizing that era. There aren't a ton of guys from that era that'll probably be real candidates. There's a few, and we talked about them, I think, last week a little bit. But this is a no-brainer, and Doug Waite, I'm looking forward to seeing him in town when he's honored, and hopefully we'll get him on one of our shows. It'd be good to get him in the hangout. We'll see. I've had the good fortune of spending some time around him, which is like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Like growing up here in Edmonton during that time,
man,
he was the guy, right?
His best years were with an Edmonton Oilers.
He was so good. And, as good as he was on the ice, off the ice as a person, he's amazing.
Fraser's wife had a huge crush on Dougie Waite. We had him on the show one time, and I remember Fraser being like, hey, Doug, it's Will Fraser from TSN 1260. I just had to tell you, my wife absolutely loves you. Like, that was that was a major, major crush. But I guess you can see why. But, yeah, man, he was excellent in his time here with Edmonton. That was before I rolled in. I didn't roll into, like, 09. He was long gone before then. But what was that time like? Because you're coming off, the glory years, getting that cup in 90, and then when he started, 92, 93, and then really kind of picked it up in 93, 94. So that was the first true next group of guys, right? So what was it like here with Dougie way back then?
I was only like 7 or 8 when he got traded here, but he was the best player on a bad team, right? Like, Kevin Lowe was being traded away to New York. Craig McTavish was being traded away. Esa Tiknin, who I believe was in that Doug Waite deal. So you had all these young guys, and it was like the rink was. I remember going to games in the old Coliseum where they still had the red seats, and people weren't showing up, and people were really mad at Peter Pocklington. I remember trying to save up money to get tickets to a game, so I'd shovel snow. I would do chores around the house.
Did you show up on time to shovel the snow?
Well, I was living at my parents' place, so I guess I was always on time. But
is this your own? I thought you got like a job like around the neighborhood or something.
No. I basically was just getting money funneled to me for my allowance, and I saved up. I'm like, Dad, I vividly remember I wanted to go see Mark Messier and the Rangers play the Oilers because I was a huge Messier fan as a kid, and I was like, Dad, I've got enough money to buy us 2 tickets. I think it was a Colonnade. It was like low in the second bowl. And And I'm like, I've got, I think they were only like $25 at the time. So I'm like, Dad, I've got like $60 saved up from chores. And he's like, we are not giving Peter Pocklington any more money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a bitter time. But like me as I didn't know the business of the franchise, and you're a kid, you just want to go to a damn game. So instead, I think he realized I wanted to go, so he got me tickets to see the Penguins and the Oilers, and I got to see Yager with his poofy hair.
Oh, baby.
The Oilers actually won that game. But yeah, I wanted to go see Mark Messier and the Rangers play the Oilers, and I remember him saying, "We're not giving Peter Pocklington
not
any
another
more money."
dollar to Peter Pocklington.
So it was a dark time, and Doug Weight was kind of one of those silver linings and bright lights in a dark time. And then when they started to get better, they made a run, I think in 95, 96. There's probably older Oiler fans that can clarify, but they were close. They were in the mix in 95, 96. Cujo came on. Bill Ranford was traded. They brought in Tchaikovsky in that deal for Bill Ranford. And they were kind of close, and they just struck out. And then they made the playoffs in 97, 98, won those 2 first-round series. And I think that recaptured a lot of people too. And Doug Weight was the spearhead on that group. And there was some great players as well. Bill Guerin came in, and Joseph, and they had Arnott, and then they traded him for Guerin, obviously. So it was a dark window, 4 years, where they were so bad. They were getting pumped by like the Anaheim Ducks, who had just come into the league.
Ooh, that's
Ottawa would
like
give
the
them
Oleg
a run.
Treverdowski Ducks.
Yeah, and I remember like seeing Alexei Yashin and the Sens beat the Oilers at Edmonton, and I'm like, this is bad.
That really hurts.
They were crap for 4 years or 3 years, and then that 95.
But he was a
season.
star among it all.
104
right?
points,
Yeah.
first Oiler to do that. I can't remember, since like Mark Messier, I believe.
That probably would have been it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Bernie Nichols or one of those guys after that put together a 100-point season. I'd have to look it up. But he was the guy, and he was a legitimate star in the National Hockey League, played for the U.S. at the World Cup of Hockey, and 98 Olympics for the U.S. And
Well, that was right in the heat of the like that U.S. Canada. He was a big part on the other side of that.
He was Mr. Oiler, and you know what? Through thick and thin. And then they couldn't give him the money he wanted. It was a small market franchise with a tight budget, and he went and got paid big time in St. Louis. He made bank. I think it was like an $8 or $9 million a year contract.
Cashed in
I can't
big
blame
time.
him. And he speaks highly of Edmonton still to this day. I have a story that we don't have time for today about him and this kid from Dallas that I met in the community in Idaho where Doug has a summer home. And basically the Coles notes was, this kid's like 21 years old, great guy. His name's Jack Wall. Jack Wall, nice to meet you. Takes off his hat. Hi, ma'am, nice to meet you. And we're sitting having a beverage, and Jack's like, what's the deal with Doug Weight? Like, why are you so excited to talk to Doug, the hockey guy, Tom? And I'm like, pardon me, that is not Doug, the hockey guy. That is Doug Weight. I'm like, he comes to Edmonton, and he is royalty, like white glove treatment. He's like, what did he do? I was like, he was Mr. Oiler. And 97 against Dallas, 98 against Colorado, that team, he was the guy. And this kid's eyes like lit up. He's like, no way. And he's a big Dallas Stars fan now, this Jack Wall. And he looked at Doug, and because we're all just sitting around, he's like, you did that? And I was like, and Doug's like, yeah, man. And Doug started talking about the Oilers and how great it was in the group that they had. And a couple of things came out of that story. I realized how old
I was going to say, did you just tell the
I
Jack
told
Wall
the story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I told
like
it.
at the beginning of the story, he said, I don't got time for the story. But then I'm like, I think he just told the whole story.
I did. There was more to it. I had to explain a bunch of stuff. But I gave the Coles Notes version. And the best part was Doug's there, and he's like, yeah, man, like we had, this team, we weren't very good for a few years, and we're basically giving this kid from Dallas, who's now a big Stars fan, like a lesson. And then the Oilers-Stars rivalry, and we went into that, and Doug was like filling in the spots that I couldn't remember, and I was doing vice versa. He was Mr. Oiler for a long time. So that's what it was like. They were so bad, Dusty, 92 or 93 to about 95, and then 96 they started to turn the corner, and he was the guy.
That's amazing stuff. I love it. You are listening to the Oil Stream, brought to you in part by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. We're in the Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen studio here. They've got those new wings that they're kicking out, the sweet and spices. You can go get them 6-piece, 12-piece. A couple of things rolling into the YouTube chat. I like seeing this one. Norm pointed out, Maddie came in and pointed out too, we have officially hit 4,000 subs on YouTube. So thank you very much. We appreciate the support. Let's keep this growing. So tell your friends about it. Hammer that thumbs up when you're watching any of our content here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. But that's exciting. It's exciting to already be at 4,000.
Yes.
And hopefully that just sort of continues to grow. That would be great. One day maybe we can get to where Winnipeg Sports Talk's going to hit at 10,000.
Great partner, and Huss is doing great stuff with Michael Remus. And
Huss is
it works.
best.
It works.
Yeah.
People are catching on, and it's nice. It's nice to see too people watching and listening, and they're like, "Oh, now I get it."
Yeah.
A sports station, but online. Yes.
780-218-9999. Doug Waite rookie card where he's on the beach. One of the funniest / best cards I've ever seen when I was little. I had that one too. I have that whole set, obviously. I have like every set of cards from 81 to, I guess, when it really kind of got crazy and exploded in like 94-ish. But he was in, I think, the second set of Upper Deck.
Is he
rookie.
on that card with Tony Amonte, or is that a different card?
Let me see here.
Because I remember there was like him, Amonte, and one other Rangers rookie. I think it was like 3 of them. Remember they started doing like weird and wacky things Upper Deck, and they would have like photo shoots like in the locker room where they
were doing some weird things. This one was the rookie for Doug was he was standing on like some rocks on the beach with his skates over his shoulder, Ranger jersey, and a stick.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, I got that one too. Right now, if you don't have it, you can buy it on eBay for $23.72 or best offer.
OBO.
Or best offer. Should I put in a best offer on this?
No, you already have it.
Yeah, I guess I already have it. All right. Oh, there's another one for $2.50. Buy it now.
In great shape, though.
That's it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Yeah. That other guy's really trying to rip us off. I should know better as a crack pack guy.
Know your market.
I'm doing a crack pack break tonight. Crack pack returns. So I'll be doing that tonight from my house. Sold out right away. It's going to be fun. We're going to be cracking 8 boxes tonight. So it should be pretty good. Let's get to a few more of these YouTube chats as well. Guys, remember the one game where Dougie went absolutely nuts against the San Jose Sharks? Legend.
Is that the one where him and Marchment got into it? Marchment was a scary guy, man.
So he just went nuts.
Went berserk. But that was the thing about Doug Waite too, is like he had all this skill, great hands, could finish. Didn't score a ton of goals. I think he would get into the 20-goal range. I think maybe he hit 30 one year off the top of my head, if I remember correctly. But he would go berserk. Like he stood up for himself. And obviously he had some heavies around him, Louis DeBrusque being one of them, to help him out. But he would not shy away from anyone, anytime. And I also remember him going nuts one game, I think against Colorado. He had like a hat trick, and it was like a 3-3 tie. And he got a penalty and was trying to fight somebody. And he was like climbing the penalty box to get to the other penalty box to fight the guy. And I remember seeing the highlights from that. I'm like, that guy's awesome. That guy's crazy, and he's so good, and he's awesome. He had a temper.
Just to follow up on this, the card that you were thinking about, there's the 3 guys. It's Tony Amonte, Dougie Waite, and then I'm looking at the card right now.
And who's the other?
Well, RCN texts in and says he thinks it's Troy Mallett.
It could be.
Greg Crawford said Adam Graves. It's not Graves.
Because Graves was established.
Yeah, Graves was already there. So, yeah, there's Dougie Waite. I don't. I'm Troy Mallett. It must be. It must be. This one's signed too. That's a Monte on the right, Dougie Waite on the left. Don't know who that dude is in the middle. Maybe it was. I would take RCN's word for it. Why else would you be texting in Troy Mallett?
Right.
You know.
Right.
Why else would that pop up here along the way? All right, we are going to take one more quick break. We'll come back and we'll. One thing we're going to dive into still. We got like Zach Hyman point props over at Coolbet right now. So we're going to get into that a little bit before we wrap. If you have any more questions, hit us up as well at 780-218-9999 or in the YouTube chat as well. And once again, thank you very much. 4,000 subs, and we are just getting started. So that is exciting.
2 guys and a goalie.
Babcock's gone. The Blue Jackets had an availability. They made a major mistake. Cass, your thoughts on how this looks on that organization?
Out of all the hires, this is the one that we felt was going to make us the best. Quite clearly, it was not.
It's just a weird kind of thing to do, to ask someone to look at their phone and the pictures on their phone. If you think by seeing a photo you're going to learn a lot about a person, then follow them on social media. I'm sure if Mike Babcock requested to follow a few members of his Columbus Blue Jackets, what he did was wrong. He hasn't changed a bit.
2 guys and a goalie with Gager, Cassian, and Nielsen. Tuesday and Thursdays at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Get to know the winners Props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tom Gazzola and Sean Bell take you on a hot lap around the NHL with Hello Hockey. Saturday mornings at 10, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Catch up with friends of EST, Andrew, Mike, and Kayla as they get you in the huddle with the Edmonton Elks on the Turf District. Thursday nights at 8, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Friend of EST, Eric Thomas, takes you around the track all the way to the checkered flag on Raceline Radio. Tuesday nights at 8 and Saturday morning at 9. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join friend of EST, Guy Flaming, for the Pipeline Show, Monday nights at 8 and Saturday at noon, as he has you covered with CHL, CJHL, USHL, NAHL, NCAA, and U Sports, plus the World Juniors, Frozen Four, and NHL Draft on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Join Murray McCourt and Curtis Stock for tips and tales from courses around Edmonton and area with the VIP Golf Show, presented by the Tailor Made Performance Center at the Ranch. Sundays at 8:30, only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Elks Call is the newest Edmonton Elks podcast located in Edmonton, discussing everything Elks. Join friends of EST, Scout and Catherine, Friday nights at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of the Oil Stream here on the opening day of training camp. This time next week, we'll be talking exhibition hockey games.
Ooh.
Unbelievable. Stephen Rice, by the way. It looks, I think it's Stephen Rice.
Yes.
This would make more sense.
That makes sense.
So, Tony Amonte, Dougie Waite, Stephen Rice. Sorry, Troy Mallett.
All good, Troy Mallett.
Yeah.
Stephen Rice.
All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, or, of course, you can hit us up in the YouTube chat as well. And, hey, tell your friends, man, there's this local sports YouTube channel now that's up to 4,000 subs, and they're churning out 7 hours of live content every single day. Which actually, when you say it that way, that's a heavy load.
It is a heavy load, and it's to the point now where we got our first release of merchandise. People have been asking me about the hats.
Yeah, well, Maddie was telling us on the Hangout today that you weren't there at, and also had people arrive late too, that we got 12 of them, and they're pretty much all sort of spoken for among like our regular sort of contributors and stuff, right? But we will have more. There's going to be a lot of ways for you to get the stuff.
Yes,
all right,
stuff.
So yeah, don't worry about that.
They look great though, and they fit great. They're like, what I like about them, they're a snapback, but they're flexible in the elastic part on the sides. Did you notice that?
Oh
really?
Yeah,
it's not as stiff as like a 59.
How do they look backwards?
Is it 50 or 59-30? Don't wear it backwards.
Why not? Not cool enough? What if I pulled some hair out through the hole?
We're already dorks.
Yeah.
Let's just.
I know. It adds so much nice lighting to my face.
It does.
It
really does.
Hey, guys, who on the Oilers is comparable to Dougie Waite now? 780-218-9999. Fun question. I don't think there's really a guy that, like Dougie Waite, what did we say? We're looking it up. 26 goals, career high.
That was his
true playmaker.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you look at the Oilers right now, I mean, the first name you would pop to would be the Nuge.
Yeah.
But
But Doug Waite skates different than the
Exactly.
Nuge.
There's no comparison, I don't think.
The Nuge is a better goal scorer than Doug Waite was. Doug Waite was like the perfect setup man. And, you don't really see setup men in the NHL anymore. Like there was Adam Oates,
not like a
Doug
yeah,
Waite.
you're right. That's a good point, Tommy. Yeah.
Gretzky was a phenomenal setup man, although he scored 1 million goals in his first, dozen years in the league.
I mean, like, who was the last? Like, well, McDavid. I mean, I'm just trying to think of a guy who's like heavily in, like Nick Backstrom.
That's
Nick
a good
Backstrom
one.
was he's nearing the end of his career, but prime Nick Backstrom, I would have described him as true setup man.
Yes.
Which is, I think, how Dougie Waite would have been described, right?
100%. Yeah. And then Doug Waite had the emotional leader element to his game as well. He did get to 1,000 points, 1,033, 278 goals, 755 assists, a career -58. There was some horrendous years we were talking about in
some tough ones
between in 93, 94. He went -22, 94, 95, which was only 48 games. He was -17, 95, 96. When he did hit the 100-point marker, that was also a career high for Doug. He was -19. Oh, wait. The NHL has this messed up, how they have the plus-minus here. I'm looking at their site. They have PIMS where plus-minus is supposed to be. Odd.
That is kind of strange.
That is weird. Fix it, NHL.com.
Come on, you're the NHL.com
This
website.
is weird.
My goodness, you got to build that.
Anyway, yeah,
fix that
he's a
immediately.
setup man.
So Doug Waite, Charlie Huddy slide in, joining like the original group, and then Ryan Smith and Fogelin. Who's next, Tommy? Who jumps off the page next to you here? I think part of this was for Smith and Waite to be honored.
Yeah.
And then they not taking anything away from Fogelin and Huddy too. I mean, I get that, but Billy Ranford would have to be next, wouldn't he?
I think so. He won
and the committee
Conn
is a
Smythe.
couple members of the media,
Yeah.
some other local people around town, and
Yeah.
obviously some tie-ins, Gretzky. Like there's a
Some
bunch of
alumni.
different people, different angles on this. But I
Yeah.
would have to think Billy Ranford is.
I think so. He was a very good Oiler for 8 years. I mean, even when the team sucked, he was one of the bright spots, like a Doug Waite. It was him, Doug Waite. Luke Richardson was a good defenseman, but he wasn't here for that long.
Yeah.
And he left for Philadelphia. I think Bill Ranford has to be one of them. And I think it's time now that we start looking ahead to the 90s and early 2000s.
There's nobody left from the 80s that you think ends up in the hall? Like
Dave Semenko.
Yeah.
But posthumously, right?
Andy Moog?
Andy Moog is another
Andy
good one.
Moog
Maybe
was
they go goalies
Andy
next
Moog
year.
was you could do an Andy Moog Billy Ranford class.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would kind of cover it.
Then I think it's time to start looking into the future.
How far back does this go? Like get to the Hemsky era and then
creeping up to the Hemsky era.
Yeah. What do you got?
It's a really murky.
Yeah. Who should be next?
Yeah. Suggestions, please.
Guys, Joe Thornton is one of the greatest setup guys ever.
Great
Guys,
one.
Jumbo Joe was a perfect setup guy.
Good
Got
call.
Choo-Choo 50. Yeah.
Yep.
Thornton was, since the year 2000, Thornton's probably the most pure setup guy in the league in his prime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he stayed in the league as basically just a guy that made passes because he was slow and he only scored on empty nets and rebounds after that.
Yeah, what was
the last few years in the league?
Didn't one year, how many assists? What was his high? I think, did he have 90 assists one year? I might be off on this, but let me just check out Joe Thornton.
I think 05-06 he
did. 92 assists in 06-07.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he had 90 assists.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else got that's pretty insane. 114 points, 92 assists, and 22 goals. Pure setup guy. I don't know, is that a lost art? Like, is there going to be any? Are we past the point of pure setup guy because all the kids coming up now can handle the puck so well and they don't want to score the goals? Like,
yeah, and is there still the pure sniper Ovechkin? Yes. I don't know. It's kind of the players generally are so well rounded. They're dangerous with their vision and their passing ability, and then they can burn you with their creativity, goal scoring, and the way these guys shoot now. It's phenomenal. We're watching Connor Bedard
Bedard's shot is
change
ridiculous.
the way.
That third goal that he scored in the hat trick last
The way
week.
He sucks it and fires
Well, he
it.
barely moved it.
Yeah.
And that was boom. Now, is that going to go in against an NHL goalie? maybe not from there, but still, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous what they're doing with their shots.
The skill level of hockey players in general has definitely risen substantially. The overall skill level, like the bar has been raised. Like if people or kids now go and watch a game from the 90s, they'll be like, kind of like how we look at the 80s. You're like, man, how did that goalie, like, how did he have a goals against average under 5?
The whole game's just evolved.
It has, yeah.
Equipment, skill, abilities, training, all that stuff. Okay, so over at CoolBet, one of the sponsors, obviously, of everything we do here in Edmonton Sports Talk, including the Oil Stream. A couple of Oilers things. Talked about this with Huss on the Lock Shop earlier. Jack Campbell is the starting goalie for the Oilers' first game. You can bet on this right now.
Yeah.
Plus 130, yes. Minus 182, no. You take the chalk at minus 182 here with Stuart Skinner, or do you sprinkle the plus 130?
I'm taking the no.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it was refreshing and nice to hear them, and their man crush for one another is interesting. They both discussed how they appreciate
They just love each other?
Yeah, they're just the nicest guys who appreciate one another.
Zach Hyman, total goals, regular season. Let me ask you this, Tommy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have... Don't look. I want to see the guess here. So, what would you set this number at? Zach Hyman, total goals for the season.
I would put it at 33.5.
Screw you.
Seriously.
You looked at it.
No, I didn't.
You looked at it.
I did not.
Come on.
Seriously.
Are you an odds maker at CoolBet?
No.
You hit the number on the nose.
Seriously?
You hit it on the nose, man.
No, I did not look.
What?
I have his stats.
I'm confirming right now.
I have his stats here.
Okay. Yeah,
And I
no,
looked at
there's
his
no
goals
CoolBet
last
tab
year,
open.
And I'm like,
how many goals did he have last year?
36. And I'm like, does he do that again? I mean, he should have had like 42, but
wow,
the amount that got called back.
Yeah, that's true. A lot called back last year. Would that lead us to think about the over then?
But that
because they wouldn't take that into consideration when setting this line. I'd be very surprised if they did.
Is he an 80-point guy though, consistently, or is he more of a? Does he fall back? I'm thinking he goes and scores in the 70 range point wise. So I'm like, I don't know if he gets 36, and he's not going to change his style of play, and there probably are going to be a bunch of Zach Hyman goals that are called off.
They're called off again this year.
Yeah. So I just kind of figured, I'm like, take a few off of what he had last year. So
I'm very impressed, buddy. That was a really good guess.
That's just a really good guess. That's it.
That's
I did not look. I'm nowhere near.
By the way, the Bouchard total has now moved up to 14.5 goals. It opened at 10.
Look what you
moved it up to 14.5. The
you
points
guys
opened at 44.5. It's now at 54.5, and it's
Wow.
not going to stop. I know Edmonton's still going to be hammering the over on that one. Let me just see. Is Zach Hyman points?
76.5.
Tommy, you didn't get it. You didn't get it. You didn't get it this time. They have it at 80.5.
That's okay.
Would you take the under on that?
I would take the under.
I think
on
I
that.
might lean under. And there have not been many of these Oilers props that we've taken the under on, but I think I might be with you on the under 80.5, just by a bit. Like I see him in that 75, 76 range.
Yeah, he had a monster season last year. A lot went well and right for him, and he worked for that. And again, he had those goals taken off the board. As an Oiler fan, I'm sure the average Oiler fan, or probably all Oiler fans, are hoping that the amount of goals that were called back on him is reduced significantly, and a lot of those calls go the Oilers' way. I don't know if it's going to happen, but just the way he plays and how all over the map the goalie interference rule is, and it seems more subjective than anything, I still think he's going to have a bunch of goals called off, which sucks for the team and for Oilers fans.
What's the schedule like for Friday? What do they got going on
Friday? Let's have a look. Thank you to Jamie Cartmel and Sean May for providing the update. Friday, 9:30 to 11, Group 1. 12 to 1:30, Group 2. Practice crossover. Please stay out of the marshalling area.
Oh,
Noted.
You better not go anywhere near that marshalling area.
I will not.
Yeah, that's good.
I've been yelled at for walking through the marshalling area.
All right, that's going to do it for another episode of the Oil Stream and another day. It was a Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, and then for a Wednesday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. And tell your friends about what we got going on over here. You can listen to it crystal clear online at edmontonsportstalk.com. Just listen, click the listen live. You can listen to the audio feed where you're out and about in your car. And, of course, if you're in the office at home, you can watch on YouTube, as many of you have. And a huge shout-out once again to everybody for helping us get to 4,000 subs. And up next would be with 5,000 subs. So
Let's
keep
get there.
pushing towards that, Tommy. Get us out of here, buddy.
All right. Huge congratulations to my friend Tyler Smith and and his lovely girlfriend, Kat, for winning the Amazing Race Canada. Smitty, we saw at a hockey school in the summer down in Calgary. He came and hung out for a bit. And
did he already know that he won?
He knew, and we were trying, and we're like, Smitty, we're watching Amazing Race Canada tonight. Can you tell us what happened? He's like, boys, I swear to God, I cannot tell you a thing. And we'd be like, Smitty, it'd be great to win that thing, wouldn't it? And he's like, just like straight-faced. He held off really well, but yesterday they aired the finale, and he won. So congrats to Smitty and his girlfriend, Kat, for winning Amazing Race Canada. If you don't know Tyler Smith, he was on that Humboldt team.
Yeah.
The tragic crash that occurred, and he's doing great things. A lot of like motivational speaking and coaching, and just a great human being among many from that organization. So congrats, Smitty. And with that being said, thank you for helping us get to 4,000 subs just not even 3 weeks into this whole thing. And let's keep this thing going. It's going to continue to get better and better. So like, share, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button. We will talk to you on Friday. Have a great one, everyone.
The Lock Shop.
We've been doing this for a long time. We spend all this time salivating over the season. Sometimes, if you haven't learned your lesson, you go hard betting on week one,